So it seems like a lot of people out there have really been loving the Shang-Chi movie, and I honestly feel like I've been missing out. But also, the box office numbers are looking pretty deceptive in my opinion. They are looking pretty good, I won't lie. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with the box office by Shang-Chi because I really thought that the movie was going to flop simply because of the low interest in the movie when it comes to the character of Shang-Chi. Not many people even know who Shang-Chi is, especially before they announced that he was coming to the MCU. But ever since they announced he was coming to the MCU, all these, Shang-Chi super fans are popping up out of nowhere, and apparently they've been knowing everything about Shang-Chi since before he was announced to be in the MCU, but that's besides the point. I don't think that the interest was very high for this character. I don't think that the interest is very high for movies in general right now because they have been going downhill because of everything that's going on in the world right now, and a lot of them just haven't been able to make the money that they're wanting to make. A lot of them just haven't been able to make their money back. You look at Black Widow and Suicide Squad, two of the most recent superhero movies, kind of superhero movies with Black Widow and Suicide Squad. They just didn't make that much money, and in fact, Suicide Squad bombed horribly, and I thought that Shang-Chi was going to be kind of in the same vein as not Suicide Squad. I didn't think it was going to bomb that bad. I always said around 650 million is what I thought it was going to make, and now it's made a lot of money in its very first weekend. In the very first 3 days that the movie came out, let's check out how much money the movie has actually made over its opening weekend. So as you can see right here, it says, this is from Discussing Film, it says Shang-Chi has earned 127.6 million in the film's first 3 days in the worldwide box office. Now that's a lot. I thought it was going to make maybe 60, 70, maybe even 80 million when it comes to a worldwide box office, but 127.6 million is pretty crazy. That's pretty good. I think Black Widow only made 371 million total for its entire run worldwide. So that's almost half already for Shang-Chi when it comes to Black Widow in comparison to Black Widow. And then a lot of people are down here in the comments are saying, that Jeremy was trying to say that the movie was going to flop. And actually this video right here that he made wasn't saying that it's going to flop. It was kind of saying that 8 million on its first day wasn't that good because it's really not. A lot of people were saying that it's really good, but like I said, that all these box office numbers are very deceptive. Even this 127.6 million in the film's first 3 days, that's still very deceptive, and I'll explain to you why exactly that is. But this video from Jeremy right here wasn't saying that Shang-Chi was going to flop. It was simply saying that 8 million on the first day wasn't that good, because if you just compare it to Black Widow, who, like I said, was a major flop when it comes to the overall box office for its entire run, it only made $371 million, which is a loss for the movie. And that movie, Black Widow, made $5 million more on its first day than Shang-Chi did. So whenever you just simply look at those numbers, you simply compare a flop to Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi is making less than the flop did, it does look like the movie is going to flop. So this isn't saying that Shang-Chi is going to flop. It's simply saying that on its first day, it did flop. And yes, it really did flop. And even though this movie made $127.6 million in the first 3 days, I think it is pretty deceptive because it's having a 45-day theatrical run before it goes on Disney Plus, whereas Black Widow didn't have that 45-day theatrical run. It was released on Disney Plus immediately, which is going to cause it to make a lot less money. I think it probably is on pace with Black Widow right now when it comes to the overall box office. And yes, it might make more. I would say that if it doesn't make more than Black Widow, that's probably really, really bad for Marvel and the MCU and Disney. I think it's going to make around 600 to 650 million. I think that's kind of its peak. I think that's its cap. But let's check out some of the other replies. I don't know how to lose. I really don't understand how all these people are liking this movie. I'm really feeling like I'm missing out on something. And honestly, it's kind of making me kind of sad because I feel like I might not be able to like any more Marvel movies or any more Marvel projects for whatever reason. Maybe I'm just outgrowing it. Maybe it's just lost its magic for me. I don't know what the case is, but I kind of liked WandaVision. I thought WandaVision was pretty cool. I really didn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier at all. And then Loki, I liked it up until the finale when he ended up losing to the female version of Loki. Other than that, man, I haven't really liked any Marvel projects since Endgame. And Endgame I saw a lot of times, but let's check out what Josh says. He's the one that actually brought this to my attention. He says, wow, this is impressive while still showing how box office is very different now. I still think it will make less than Black Widow. So even Josh, who's pretty positive about these sort of things, I think he's pretty level-headed when it comes to these sort of things. He's seeing that 127.6 million, and he's still saying that's going to make less than Black Widow. I think it's going to make more than Black Widow, but it is what it is. If it makes less than Black Widow, I don't think that that's going to be a huge surprise for me. I would like it. I would like for the movie to make a lot of money. I would like for it to be a big success. I wanted to make 650 million. I think 700 million would be a huge success. But also, if you look at stuff like this, man, it's no surprise why all these people are saying that this movie is extremely good, and I just can't like the movie because a lot of people like John Campea are out here shilling for this movie extremely hard. And this is coming from a John Campea fan. I've been watching John Campea for 3-4 years now, as well as Robert Meyer Burnett, and I'm big fans of both of them. John Campea has kind of been faded out of my consumption lately because I don't really agree with a lot lot of things that he says, and stuff like this just kind of makes him lose some credibility in my eyes. But he says, why is tomorrow going to be a great day? Because I'm going to see Shang-Chi for the 6th time. God, I love this movie. And he's just been promoting this movie super hard. And when all these other people, all these other pundits that people trust, like John Campea, all these other pundits that people look up to, because a lot of people start their YouTube channels because of people like John Campea, and they're inspired by them. So whenever they see people like John Campea pushing this movie so hard, going to see it 6 times, probably going to end up going to see it 8, 9 times in the theaters before it's all said and done. Whenever they see John Campea and other people like him, because it's not just John Campea, it's a lot of other people, it's just most surprising coming from John Campea. But whenever they see that, they're also going to say how much they love the movie because they want to share the same opinions as John Campea. They look up to him. I'm not saying that's how everybody is. I'm sure there's some people out there that truly do enjoy the movie. But I'm saying that that's going to influence a lot of people to think positively about this movie because someone that they look up to does really enjoy the movie. While I went into the movie really trying to like it, I was really hoping that it wouldn't be bad, and I just couldn't. I couldn't like it. And this is coming from someone who I saw Endgame in theaters 6 or 7, I think it was 7 times, because I kept having new people come to me saying that they want to go see it, and I love watching movies with people for the first time. It's kind of like watching the movie for the first time all over again. So I went to see the movie 6 or 7 times. I think it was 7 times where I saw Endgame, and Shang-Chi just didn't do it for me. And honestly, the Spider-Man movie that came out right after Endgame didn't do it for me, and nothing has really done it for me other than, the first couple Loki episodes were really cool, and then WandaVision was really cool up until the finale. It kind of didn't really stick the landing for me, but it wasn't as bad for me as it was for a lot of other people. But it seems like Marvel is just kind of losing its magic a bit. But this article from Cosmic Book News says Shang-Chi Friday box office, people are not afraid of theaters. It seems like they aren't, man. And this article was written back when it was still being projected to make $67.8 million for its first 3 days, and it's made $127 million for its first 3 days. So people are really not afraid of theaters. I think there are some people out there that are afraid of theaters, the people who can't think for themselves, people who are just told to be scared and they accept the fact that they're scared instead of just actually coming up with their own ideals in their head. But you look at the audience score right here, it's also being review bombed in a positive way, but the media will never say anything about that because they only care about Disney movies when they're review bombed in a negative way. They only care about these shows and these movies when they're review bombed in a negative way. And honestly, if you really look into Rotten Tomatoes, I didn't know this, but YetiCast told me this on a stream one time. If you really look into how they do their scores, they take away a lot of the 1-star reviews, if not all of the 1-star reviews. They don't let people leave 1-star reviews because they assume that it's review bombing. So they take away all the 1-star reviews, but they won't take away the 5-star reviews. So Rotten Tomatoes scores are kind of irrelevant nowadays because of how they do their scoring and the people that are allowed to do it. And also you can just hire a bunch of bots to go give it a good score, give it a bad score. It's really irrelevant nowadays. I don't care about the critic score because I don't care what critics have to say about it. And I don't care about the audience score because it's very easy to manipulate the audience score. And Rotten Tomatoes actually manipulates it themselves to make the movies look more positive. But if you go look at some other websites like Metacritic and all these other websites that do the scoring for these movies, they gave it about a 70%, which I thought would be around where this movie would get. Because while I really didn't like the movie, I know that there's a lot of people that really love the movie and a lot of people that are in the middle. This isn't one of those love it or hate it kind of movies. I feel like it's very much an average movie for a lot of people. I didn't really like it because there's certain plot points that I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's certain plot points in the movie where I was just very angry that they happened, and I was very confused and not in an intrigued way, in a very annoyed and just dumb way. I just didn't like a lot of the choices that they made. But I mean, let me know what you think about Shang-Chi. What do you think about it making $127 million in its first weekend? I think that's pretty good. Hopefully the movie can do well. Hopefully the movie can make $650 million, like I said. Let me know what you think the box office for Shang-Chi will look like by the end of its theatrical run. And let me know what you thought of Shang-Chi as a movie. If you did enjoy this video though, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me on Twitter, the links to that will be in the description as well. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you see you in the next one.